stop on hacking the cloud. And before I start, I'd like to give a disclaimer that I've not done cloud control testing as professionally, so all this slide that I've included in is from that I've learned from the self-study, and I'd like you to note down the insightful information from the slides as we go further. And yeah, that's my Twitter handle. Shoumik Chandra, you can connect me over to Twitter. And yeah, let's start. So I'll be starting with the very basic first, and let's know what is cloud. If anyone wants to answer from the crowd, anyone?
Just another computer.
Sorry?
Just another computer.
You can say that here, virtually here. So I'll tell you on the context of cloud are the remoteless server that are hosted on the internet for processing, storing, and managing data rather than having the local servers or having a personal computer. So yeah. The next is about the cloud deployment model. As you all know, we have this whole cloud deployment model: public, private, hybrid, and community. Public is for access for the public. Private is only for the on-premises organization, which they have only permission for themselves. And the hybrid is for like the integration of public and private. And community cloud is like something a bunch of organizations have with their own principles and everything by a third-party provider. So next is about the cloud service model. As you can see, I don't know if you can see, I'll jump it out for you. Can you see at the back? Okay, so here are the three cloud service models: the infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. In the infrastructure as a service, you can see there are four things that are being managed by the vendor: your third-party cloud service provider, the virtualization servers, storage, and networking. And in the platform as a service, the customer has to manage only the application and data. And as a software as a service, you as a client, you don't have to manage anything, all will be managed by your vendor. And the next is about the cloud service provider. As you all know, Amazon holds the maximum market. So we'll be doing our penetration testing on AWS as well. As you can see, it's over 32% of the market. So yeah. Before going into the penetration testing of the cloud, let's know how this is different from standard penetration testing. So the standard penetration testing, as you know, is almost based on this relevant to on-premise environments, and it's not actually focused on the cloud-specific stuff. So the cloud penetration testing will be much more focused on the cloud-specific configuration, encryption, APIs, password, and etc. And also, this is also somehow influenced by the cloud share responsibility model, which I'll be telling you in the next slide. As you can see, the cloud responsibility model divided by between two customers and AWS. So the customer is responsible for the cloud, and like in the cloud, and the AWS or any third-party service provider will be responsible for in the cloud. So, off the cloud. In the cloud, what I mean is about the customer data, platform, application, identity, access management, the client-side data, server-side encryption, etc. Whereas the AWS, who is responsible for off the cloud, basically responsible for the hardware parts. The like compute storage database, or like the reason ability zone, etc. So you have to understand what you should do as a professional, for doing the testing as a cloud in the cloud, and what are the first thing that you should ask from the clients? So you should have the legal permission and the ownership of the this account of that you want to test. Then if you are going as a pen testing firm, then you should have the signature of works, professional service agreements, etc. And if you are approaching as a freelancer, you have to get a lawyer because you can't do everything alone. So there are, I don't know if you can see. So just assume if you go to the AWS site, you can see there are more than 200 services in the AWS, and not every service that you are allowed to get touched. So I'll talk that on the next slide. As you can see, I've taken a screenshot from their website and said the permitted services that are allowed to pen test from the AWS and the prohibited activities. So the permitted services that includes REC2, WAF, RTS, CloudFront, S3, and many more, as you can see in the list. So EC2 are the virtual, like your VMware, but it's on the cloud where you can fire up your own OS and everything. WAF is this firewall and everything. Like Elastic Load Balancer are the one distributing your traffic and all that. RTS is the database. S3 is the storage where you can store the data and photos and whatsoever. Yeah, and the prohibited activities are obviously those DNS hijacking and DNS farming, protocol flooding, and etc. So in the previous slide, we have seen these prohibited activities. Now you understand what are the security assessment allowed by the AWS, which includes this port scanning, vulnerability scanning, web application scanning, injection, and fuzzy. So let's understand the most common security threats in the cloud, and the first one has to be this misconfiguration. Excuse me. So this misconfiguration, you will see of many ways in many places, because there are these inline policies, there are this outlines and everything that people do screw up because you do not have to code so many things because there is already been coded, but people go and actually just do a little change, and in that time changing they do something wrong, and the company assets get compromised. And the following are with the data breaches, malware, vulnerabilities, entities, insider threats, and many more that are listed in the slide. So about the misconfiguration, I was saying this is an example that is found on the wide. So this is a clone repository from an actual web application. So that what web application used to do was that has an uploader function, and that used to upload the data, and then it used to store in the S3 bucket. But the problem was that they didn't have a lambda function. And what does the lambda function do is it uses to fire up your S3 or you have to build to code or anything else. Like it's a service from AWS by itself. So they didn't have that lambda service, and that's why they made a mistake. And they made this uploader controller.js Angular library. And what this used to do is whenever that uploader function used to get in use, this comes in action and it used to fire up the S3 bucket. And then whenever it is being uploaded, it's been sent to every S3 bucket that has been there on the web application. So the developer made this mistake right there. You can see I've highlighted as well the access ID and the secret access ID and the bucket name as well. And the developer might feel like that might not be any soup because it's a read-only thing and all that. But it's a threat, it's a key leakage issue. As you can go to a AWS CLI tool that is a tool you can use in Kali and anywhere. And you can go and access those keys. And when you go and access those keys, you will find the services that are attached to it, the more profiles that are attached to it, and one lead to other, and you will go deep in and you'll understand. So, what do you need to get started? So, I will be talking about on the behalf of white box pen testing, where you have the information, the black box and grey box. You can skip that if you are on that mindset. But this is what you do when you are in the white box thing. So you need to have this read-only permission for the keys, and those keys might have any kind of developer role attached to it, or any services that has been attached to it, like EC2 or the Lambda or any execution services, and you have to have an architectural diagram for the web application. So next is about mapping the account users. And to start with, you have to have this AWS CLI tool on your platform, and you have to perform the UMI in order to check what's the name associated with it and the privilege keys for, and then you can run those Pack2, CloudForce, and Gridime. These are the tools that you can use in order to enumerate more. Then you can list out the services that you can actually find when you are doing all this and stuff. And then you have to especially check for the inline policies, like the user inline policies, group inline policies, and so many more. And then you have to list down all the services and check what are the check the difference between this in scope and out scope, and then you can go deep further. So I guess you all have done this web penetration testing, and you might know about Nessus. It's an automated tool, right? So Crawler as CloudSource is something same for the cloud. So you will go and provide the information, and they will create this beautiful draft of everything that the vulnerabilities that consists of and everything. You can actually go and see the low-hanging fruit in there and go deep further. So now let's talk about the mindset. This mindset is all basically about how I go through, what I think of going into. So, for example, I have to review a Lambda service. So I will not go and check how a Lambda service has been have this interaction with the EC2 instance. Rather, what I will do is go check the CloudSuite and Crawler that I have shown you in the last PPT, last slide. I will go there, I will check all the things that have been showing there, and then I will research my own ways that what are the previous escalations other people have done for that vulnerability, right? And for that, I prefer these four platforms. You can go and check it out. The first one is Hacking the Cloud is a blog where like big freshers have written every possible privilege escalation that can be possible. The next is someone hacked tricks.xyz. These are also maintained by people, and you can go and check it out as well. And then I go for this CloudWall DP. So that database consists of much more information, and then breaches of cloud to get updated, like what is the new breaches and how it happened, and then I'll try to replicate it on my own way. So I told you, right, when you get an access key, you can go and check out from the AWS CLI, and you might get this more secret access keys and profile and everything. So you might get multiple accounts, or in the while you're getting information by the client, you can get multiple accounts by then also. So these are the five checklists that you can check between the different accounts, like cross-account, trust relationship, cross-account permissions, roles, network and security controls. Like what are the controls and policies that are being attached to one to other, and you can note it down, and it will help you in further information taking. So you can also check out this three checklist. The first two are from the GitHub, as you can see, and the third one is from SANS Power Test checklist. And you can go and go deep into it and try one by one, and you can see how you are getting about the information. So this will be an example of how we can enumerate AWS account ID from EC2 instance. So you can use on the AWS CLI tool that I was telling you throughout the PPT, and you can use this command get caller identity on the EC2 instance, and you might get this information about the account, user ID, and AR number. And also you can enumerate from the metadata service as well. If you can see the first thing, we are taking this put command on the metadata endpoint, and then we are getting this get command to get the previous information that we have got into. And when you run this command, these two commands, and you can get this revealing additional information as the output, as you can see. So now, how about going into this scaling IAM credentials from the instant metadata service? So here's the trick, instant metadata service version 1 has this issue, and if your client is running on instant metadata service 1, you can qualify this and you might get this information. But AWS has patched that misconfiguration, and now they are running on metadata service 2, and you might not get the same information by using the same techniques. But the good part is there are many people who have not updated this thing, and they are still running on the instant metadata service version 1. So you can go and try it out. So you can try SSR and XSE attacks on this. And how this works is, suppose if you, in this example, just assume that the web server is running on port 80 and it's vulnerable to SSR. And you can make a GET request on this IP address. And I want to tell you one more thing, like GCP, AWS and Azure runs on this IP address, and you can go back and reroute the check. But Azure Cloud runs on 100.100.100.200. So that's a difference. And yeah, you can go and have this GET request for this arbitrary address, and it might give you this information. And then you can actually after that you can actually do this /retest/metadata/IAM. So now you might get a 404 response, or you might get a 200 response. If 404 response, you can't do anything but 4. If you get a 200 response, you might not see anything on the web page. But that doesn't mean that it's empty. That means there was a IAM rule, but it has been revoked. So when you do that, you can after that you can write the security credentials, and you will find a IAM rule name that has been attached. And when you put after security credential, when you put EC2 default SSL, and this is the the IAM rule name. When I put this after the security credentials, and you can see I've got every access, I got so much of information about the access key, secret access key, and a ton more, which I can use for my own penetration testing. So there will be some more basic tests that we will do. First, on the AWS CLI as well. this will be, when you get this, when you get to see this file on the with the bucket name and everything, it's, as you can see, we have this upload directory and then we have image.png. And what you can do is to go back to the file directory and you can actually get whatever you had on that, and then all we can do is list out the content that has been there on the S3 bucket by just simply writing ls, and then you can also download the file writing cp command. And if you can do that, that means the S3 bucket is vulnerable and vulnerable to public listing and reading. You can also try file upload testing, where you can inject a file and then see if you can do anything. And if you can do anything, that means it is publicly it is actually vulnerable to public write access. And then there is this Google Doc that you can try, like site dot like s3.amazonaws.com. In the semicolon, you can write the company name. And as you can see, it has been found the data set and everything. So make sure whenever you do this Google Docs, the S3 buckets are in scope. So there are these 3 more tools that you can try to find S3 buckets. Like first one is S3 Scanner, then Cloud Hunter, and then Grey Hat Welfare. Excuse me. Yeah. So I'll be giving you a demo how you can access the S3 bucket. So I'll be giving you a demo on this flaws.cloud. You all can go and check it out. It's an online CTF for the cloud. And this is the website, and this is it said that this is vulnerable to S3. And what we do is you can grab this flaws.cloud and you first check if the S3 is attached to it or not. And then you do an ls lookup. And you can see so many of addresses and you can grab one. And you can do a reverse check. And when you do that, you can see it is mentioned that it is S3 or website.evolution. So S3 is there, so the bucket is there. So we can So as you can see, the S3 is mentioned right there, right? That was I was saying. So now you have to have this AWS tool in your this platform, and I have already. So what you can do is in cloud, instead of HTTPS, you have to write S3 colon slash slash, and when you run this, So it's saying unable to locate credentials, and when you get this error, all you have to do is write this no sign request, and if it is a public cloud, you will get the information something like this. It will take some time. Bear with it, please. Yeah, as you can see, we have got a list of files, and here is our first flag. And how you can download it on the system is just to write a simple, just have to change something. Instead of ls, do cp, and then here write the file name. And that at the end, just give the file name where you wanna, store it, and yeah, it's been downloaded. And when I see, it's been here, and when I open it, it's taking some time. So it's been saying, congrats, you have been to level 2. So there are 6 levels in this CTF, and when you go to the level 2, so in order to get this flag from the level 2, you have to have a this Amazon account, and you have to have a user in this account. It's been clearly mentioned here, shown here. So I have already created an account, and I have this user already, as you can see. So I'll be accessing through it, and I'll tell you how we can, like, why is it happening and everything. So we will try the same old thing first, and let's look up. As you can see, we have got a bunch of address, and then we'll do the same thing for the reverse thing. Just to confirm. And it's being the same thing. We have confirmed, so you can use the AWS CLI now. When we run the command that we have used in the previous one, we will have this access denied, and I'll tell you later, but let's see how we can do. As it has been said, like you have to have a Amazon account, so I think that something has to do with the account that I have and the profile I have. And when you create a user right there, you have to like configure on the AWS CLI with the command, and it has been written on the AWS site itself, so you can go and do that. And after configuring your profile onto your system, and then all you have to do is to just make some changes.
What is okay?
Sorry.
What is okay? Is it a word?
Well, that is my profile. That is the user that I have created. That is the name of the user. So as you can see, I have listed down from the private cloud, and there is this file. And we do the same thing: downloading, copying, and then opening up. Then you go to the level 3 of this. So I tell you why this is happening, because earlier Amazon has this configuration where not a configuration, but they had this configuration where if any authenticated user from the AWS can access any S3 bucket. So earlier they used to think like this might not be a vulnerability, but it is right, because you can go and create your own profile, and then you can access anyone's S3 bucket information and everything. So the good thing is AWS has fixed that, and the bad thing is, as I told you earlier, like there must be some clients who are not updated, and they might have this thing, they're not been updated. So you can go and try and check this out. And if you want to go if you want to deep dive into this, then go and check this that the earlier laws that I mentioned you. And there are much more possibilities ways you can enumerate and exploit and then all these things. So yeah, that's the demo part, and I'd like to share some things with you. I don't know how many of you can say this, but I would highly recommend, if you want to go and practice some cloud hacking, you can check out this environments that I have listed down. And the PDF that you should all, you can go and check this out, this AWS Pentest checklist type. And there is this AWS check.fyi. You can go and check that as well. And there is this community I created on 2022 on Twitter, where I personally, whenever I get this information, I go and post it on there. You can go and check it out and make it your own use. Yeah, and that's all from me. Thank you.